We're live.
All right. Talking today about how important and necessary are emails. Is it another thing to do? Is it another thing to worry about? No, it is another thing to do, but it's not another thing to worry about. And your email list is the way that you stay in conversation with people who want to get to know you, who want to hopefully buy whatever you're putting out in business, which sales are the lifeblood of every business. And regular communication is what gets people to, I know you've heard this, know, like, and trust. Now, there's different ways that you can use email.
Yeah.
So I've seen the daily email by some people.
Yep.
Okay, what do you think about that? I saw.
That just scares me to think to have to write 365 emails.
If you batch it and you do it, if you sit down for say a half hour and you batch 90 emails, it's probably not that bad. But
yeah, I think if you have a larger list, I could see that being beneficial because most people probably, I would say on average, if your emails are really good, I'd say 20 to 30% will get opened.
But it comes down to two major things.
All right, hit me with it.
One is the strategy. The second is value. So if you decide that you're going to send a daily email to your list, why? What is the end goal?
Yeah.
What is the reason that you're doing it? It becomes another to-do that stresses you out and makes you worry when you don't know why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. You're doing it because someone told you should do it. You're doing it because somebody who just did $1 million launch did it, and you're like, I want what they did, so I'm going to go do what they did. Mm-hmm. That doesn't always work for your business. What is the strategy? Are people new to you? Have you not offered something in a while, and you're trying to create that connection and that trust and that value, so you want to pop into people's inboxes more regularly? The worst thing you could do is never speak to your list. And then when you have something to offer, drop in and start saying, hey, buy this. Hey, purchase this. Hey, I'm launching this.
Yeah.
Right? You have to build up that ramp of trust and value. And when I say value, I mean, what problems are you solving for people? What decisions are you helping people make? If they can Google it and they can find it on their own, yes, it's going to take them more time, but that's probably not of huge value.
Yeah.
When you're sharing how you thought through something, how you strategized something, how you worked through a problem and the decisions that you made, that's of value to me, other than cluttering my inbox with just nonsense or noise.
Yeah, I agree.
So yes, emails are hugely important. Social media is great, but you don't own it. How many times people I've seen, they're like, I'm in Facebook jail and I wasn't allowed to post, or I got locked out of my group, or
my profile got duplicated.
And, oh my gosh, I've seen horror stories where, spammers get in and they take over and they change the password and you can't even get in. Yeah. So if social media is the primary way that you're doing business, you don't own it. It could go poof tomorrow.
True.
Right? So email is something, an email list is something that you own. Now, what if you have nothing to sell? What if you are a brand spanking newbie? The email list is where you start. Because when you warm people up and you give them value, then you have something to offer. They're like, yes, we've been waiting for this. Whether you're rebranding, whether you're going through a change, take people along in the journey and tell them what's going on with you and tell them about those decisions that you've made along the way.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I find interesting, that are willing to pull back the curtain and tell me, what's going on and what they've been doing. I've been talking for 4 minutes straight. What are your thoughts?
I'm just thinking about a lot of things came up for me of I think about past clients who I know aren't doing emails, and instantly I go, oh my God, you're leaving so much money on the table, because those people,
they're waiting.
They haven't heard from you in 5 years. I can think of a few clients that I'm like, I don't think they've ever sent an email, because they never hired us to help them with the emails. So we're like, okay,
because they say I'm gonna do it myself, and they don't.
And I know for a fact they have, because I'm on their list. So I haven't got an email from them. So I know, well, either you deleted me, which I doubt.
No. Or not to hijack, but you brought up a good point that I thought. I'm sorry, but I'm thinking about it. people have this mentality that they think, well, if it doesn't equate to money, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't equate to a sale, then it's just another thing to do. It's not worth it to me.
Yeah. We get that often. We get where people are like, well, show me the proof. Show me that me sending emails is going to make me $1 million. Doesn't work that way.
It's a seed that you plant.
Yeah.
It's an accumulation of all the things that you're doing. And I always go back to my solo show, which I'm sure if you've been around, you're probably sick of hearing me talk about it. But people are like, how do you get butts in seats? It's emails, it's social media, it's going in networking groups, it's mouth to, it's face to face, it's word of mouth.
Were you about to say mouth to mouth?
I was. Yeah. It's mouth to mouth. It's mouth to mouth. I'll kiss you and then you'll come.
Yeah. That's different.
That's a whole different. That's the next show.
No, you're right, and that's what comes to mind for me is like this one client I'm thinking of.
And they're so lovely, and we want them to succeed. So
this also with love, and it's exactly that. So I just talked to this person a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how pre-COVID was one of their best years, and I put 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, I don't, something to do with this and that, and then I'm thinking, no, it was all of the momentum we built up to get in front of your ideal clients when they were looking for you and them engaging with you. And so he stopped when COVID hit, he stopped doing a lot of the stuff we were doing because he was like, well, I don't know if that's working. I don't know if that's working. Well, here we are 3 years later. And he goes, that was my best year. Yeah. And now I have to do the job of proving to him, yeah, that was your best year because you invested in marketing. You kept being in front of your ideal clients. So like back to the email, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these people haven't heard from you in 5 years. If we sent them an email, you know how much business he would probably get? Mm-hmm. Because these people have just been sitting there and either they've already decided to do something or they haven't. And you're going to trigger that reminder for them to, oh my gosh, I remember I haven't heard from you in 5 years. They're going to reach out. And even in the first email should be, reach out to me, reply or phone me. And I'd love to help you, whatever that is for you.
And if you've fallen off the email bandwagon, which we have.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about that before we got on the call. And I was like, how come I haven't been creating? Because I used to have a newsletter that went out weekly and a podcast. And I was like a content creating machine. I was blogging weekly. I was podcasting weekly. I was sharing like a weekly decision making thought of the week and putting in a newsletter. And I'm like, why did we stop doing that? Because I took on this beast of a solo show. Yeah. It wasn't that I didn't find value in doing it. It's that other things pulled my time and attention that were necessary. So I'm excited. I'm making this commitment right here with you if you're listening and you're making the same, that I'm going to get back to emailing our list regularly and letting them know what's going on and what we've been up to. And don't lose that lifeline with the people who opted in and want to be in your world and want to be in. People will unsubscribe if they're no longer interested. Cool.
Yeah.
That opens the space for someone that you are a right fit for. And people change their interests. I know when I changed my list from when I used to be in the fitness industry to now marketing in this industry, I was telling my list I'm making this transition. I lost a lot of people, and that's okay because they were like, we wanted to get your latest smoothie recipe. We don't have a business and we don't care about any of this stuff that you're talking about. And that's okay, right? Don't take it personal if somebody unsubscribes from your email list. Yeah. That's great. There's nothing worse than trying to hold on to somebody that doesn't want to be there, right? So email is necessary. I'm going to start, if you're on our list, you're going to start hearing from us more. If you aren't on the list, if you go on to infinitedesignhouse.com, you can opt in for our 7-figure value ladder, which is a super valuable training that teaches you how to grow and scale without feeling like you're running on the hamster wheel. So that is pretty much everywhere on our site, and get on our list and we'll be hitting you up with some good value. All right.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.